My name is Chrysteannah, and today I'm here with Gabby Martinez, and we are going to be talking all about her life, her music, acting, and we're going to be just talking about mental health too, because I believe that's really important, and that is why I started Teenage Mental Love. I feel like in the media today, we're not really talking about mental health as much as it needs to be spoken about, and my name is Chrysteannah, and I am so happy to be here with Gabby today, and I really hope you all enjoy this interview. And yes, so we're going to jump right into it, and I will make sure to tag and link all of Gabby's social media down below, and I really hope you guys enjoy. Yes, so great. So firstly, yes, thank you so much. And I wanted to firstly start off with asking you, what is your personal goal in life?
My personal goal in life? Oh, that is such a big question because I have so many goals that I would love to accomplish, but I don't really look at my life as kind of a timeline where I set goals and I accomplish them.
Yeah.
I kind of like to think of my experience with my life as an experience, and that everything that comes this like my way, I will be able to handle some goals that I have, or to create, to show my artistic side, to spread love and help others in any way I can.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. And you said like to create, and I wanted to ask you, outside of acting and singing, is there anything else that you do like as an outlet or to like ever relieve stress?
Oh yes, definitely. When quarantine first started, I've always sketched here and there, but I never actually dived into the whole painting world. But I actually bought a watercolor set and I started painting, which was very, very therapeutic. I was doing little birds and flowers to start off with, but now I'm kind of challenging myself to do more. That and writing. I'm trying to write my own series right now and just trying to use my time in a way that's productive creatively so that I can, express myself the way I want to.
Of course, yeah, I love that so much. And, like I feel like it's really unique to hear someone who's an actress who wants to write, their own series. That's really cool. And I love hearing that. And also, you spoke about, like, during the pandemic and how this time, really impacted you. And I wanted to also say, did it impact your mental health as well?
Oh, yes, definitely. As someone who, everyone has their own struggles with mental health and everyone goes through their own journey. But being in quarantine made a lot of things, it put a lot of things into perspective for me. So with that time, I think I was able to focus more on my happiness and what's making me happy. And I had a chance to actually reevaluate, certain situations or relationships or things that were not making me happy anymore that I would never have realized if we didn't take that time to, although amidst all of the negativity that was going on, I still think it was a good time to reflect.
Of course, and that is so, so true. And I feel like also, I feel like so many people realize more about themselves, like if they need their friends by their side or their family. And it was a really hard time, but it was a wonderful time to reflect, just like you said. And also, when it comes to like acting or singing and taking a break from that, especially like during the pandemic or not doing it as much, did that ever impact you, like mentally and physically?
Yeah, definitely, because my life, I was so busy the first part of the year, January to March, literally like one of the last days of quarantine, I was still working and I was on set and I was like, whoa, okay, stopped. It's all gone? Like, what do you mean? And then I had to go back home. I stayed with my parents in Vegas, and it kind of struck me because I was like, whoa, what am I supposed to do now? And then I realized how little I was doing because I was focusing so much on my work. So it was honestly just a really good time to settle. I had time to like physically work out, which I would have never done before because I was so busy working and stuff and trying to go after things and constantly trying to make little meetings and things work. So during that time, physically, it impacted me in a way that I was like, okay, I can get up and move now. And I noticed the importance of physical exercise. Like I would go on walks with my family.
Wow.
We would go bike riding, everything like that. And then mentally, I had to realize that it's important to take a break every once in a while.
Definitely.
I did not know how much I was putting on myself, and I realized that a huge weight was kind of lifted off my shoulders because I realized you don't need all this to be happy.
Of course.
You just need to, be yourself and do your creative work, and that's what helped.
And I love that so much. And I feel like, in life also we like almost always value, materialistic things or all these stuff. But honestly, I think it's just all about happiness, and are you truly happy? And I love that so much. I love what you said. And I wanted to say, is like when you comes to your music, your singing, and your acting, is that like an escape for you? And how does that make you feel when you're in that place?
It makes me feel free. It makes me feel alive and just all the wonderful things, honestly. When I'm in acting class and when I'm diving into a character, I'm like creating this life for myself, basically. I'm just going in like a baby, head first, diving into the deepest part of myself, basically, to find what can, be relatable, because art imitates life and life imitates art. So it's kind of, I just want to like experience so much because I want to reflect on what other people can relate to in the world, because so many movies come out and people will watch them and be like, oh, I really resonate with that character. Like, I can see myself in that person because it's an actual life. It's someone's work that they've taken it and they have put it into meaning,
Of course. And I love that so much. And when it comes to like acting and singing, just like you said, and taking on that life, can it sometimes be like, overwhelming or stressful, especially, to put yourself in that position, or like people are going to be watching you, so they have their own opinion on how you interpreted that character. Is that ever stressful or overwhelming for you?
It can be if I let it. I kind of realized after doing this all my life that everybody has an opinion, and sometimes not every opinion is going to value or make your life lighter, So it's kind of, I like to just say that I try my best, I do my best, and that's all I can offer the world, really.
Of course. I again love that so much. And sometimes in life, just like like we can't really use other people's opinion to validate ourselves. Like, you have to know from within, if you're proud of yourself, then be proud of yourself. It's all about you. And I wanted to say, when it comes to like people's opinion and such, it also kind of ties into social media. And do you feel like that could be like an environment that can like breed toxicity, or like make someone feel overwhelmed or struggling because of the comments that you see, or if it could be hate?
That's so funny that you bring that up. I just saw this billboard in LA, ironically, because this is kind of where everybody has that level of social media presence. But it said, like, comparison kills creativity.
Yes.
And I think that social media can be a very toxic outlet if you consume yourself with it.
Definitely.
Because you're constantly seeing all these people in their happiest moments, and you're expecting their life to be so much better than yours. But in reality, you have no idea what's going on behind the screen. And I think that when you compare yourself to other people, it does kill your creativity. It can stifle your energy. You can start to think that you're not worth enough. Like, for me, that's happened multiple times, when you follow all these models and all these people that are booking jobs and things like that, and you're like, well, what the heck? You're doing great, but little do you know how much is going on under the surface. So I think that if you let yourself consume social media too much, it can be something harmful.
Definitely. And I completely agree. And I feel like it's almost like people who watch people on social media, they don't think that actors, actresses, singers go through the same thing, but they do, because like I could only imagine, what it's like, when you thought you were going to get a role and you didn't get it, and then you see someone else get that role, or you see people booking roles and you're sitting home and you're just like, wow, because I'm not even in that industry, but I could just imagine, and I know how stressful it can become, and then doing that on top of school, wow, it's really, really wild. And I wanted to say, like, is there anything that you do to, like, ever, like, I know you said you do art, but, like, is there any time where you take, like, a mental health day, or you just tell yourself positive, like, affirmations to, like, push yourself?
Oh, definitely,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah.
I actually have a vision board that I like to look at almost every morning just to
Yeah.
kind of remind myself
Of course.
what my purpose on the planet is
Mhm.
and, how good I can feel.
Yes.
Because I totally, totally recommend everyone take a mental health day
Of course.
any way you can because it is so important.
Mhm.
Nobody realizes how much weight you have on yourself until you can take a day and be like,
Yeah.
there's so much happening that I haven't been able to process. And
Definitely.
sometimes I need to heal my heart and I need to, be with my soul
Yeah.
to produce that creative content that people are looking for,
Definitely. Yeah, I completely understand. And I feel like also, like, the people around you and, like, your environment can also make you feel like, you need to, like, sometimes they can influence your mental health as well, especially if you have people who are supportive around you or not as supportive of what you're achieving. And I wanted to ask you personally, do you have any, like, special friends or family that, really help you through the hard times or the hard days and, support you through your journey?
Yeah, I've honestly been so lucky in my life and blessed to have a best friend since the beginning, basically. I have a very, excuse me, I have a very big family. My mom was one of 13 kids.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I have like tons and tons of cousins.
Yes.
And we've all grown up together and we've kind of seen and known like our experiences. We've shared the same experiences. And I was able to, talk to them and I was so comfortable with them that we, instead of being cousins, we're more like best friends more than anything, but we know that we're family.
Yeah.
And, my friends are so amazing. Like, I think that, when you're in a time of crisis or trauma or something that you feel like you can never heal from, reaching out to those people that love you and support you unconditionally. And even if you don't have those people, they will arrive. They will come out once you put out that energy that you want those people to come to you, because that's happened to me. We've all had friendships that have not, worked out the best or, you weren't compatible as friends anymore, but you still value the person. It's just that you guys are not on the same page anymore,
Definitely, I completely agree. And do you feel like that can really influence your mental health or have an impact, when you're losing a friend or, not connecting with someone anymore?
Of course. I think loss is something that people don't like to talk about too much, but it happens every day. Relationships, it might not be a death, but, you do lose people in your life that, you may not connect in the same way, or there's just differences that if you guys are like across the country and in quarantine, I know so many people were in relationships and had to, split from their partners or anything like that. And it's just, when that happens, you have to know deep within yourself that you are more than enough, that you love yourself, and really just connect to that part of your heart that is for you,
Of course. And I love that so, so much. And when it comes to, pushing through the hard times, trying to, pass a friendship loss or anyone, just like you said, is there any time where where it was like the hardest in your life, or like you had like, it was like one of the hardest times, but you knew that you had to push through it?
Definitely. Everybody has gone, like I've said, they've gone through their mental health struggles, and I've hit very low lows, and sometimes you can't help that because just as important as it is to help a physical injury, it's just as important to heal a mental injury. I wouldn't say injury, but the brain is an organ and it's part of your body, and it's something that people don't focus on, but it has such an impact on your body as well. I even realized that when you're getting sick and you start to feed into that, little voice in your head that's like, oh God, I'm getting sick and I feel terrible.
Yeah.
And you start to dive into it. You get even more sick.
Definitely.
I've seen it happen to me. I've seen it happen to other people where they just kind of fall into that.
Yeah.
So I think when I have let myself fall into, dark days and things like that, but I know that the light is on the other side. And you just have to keep that hope alive.
Definitely. And amazing. And also, I feel like honestly, just like social media, mental health, everything, it's hard sometimes, to keep pushing and to, not dive into getting deeper and deeper. And especially, in today's society, it's almost like everyone needs to be perfect. And like you said, you're seeing all of these people live their best lives and like you just feel so alone sometimes too. And that is wonderful what you said. And I wanted to also say, like, when you're going through a time like that where like you're really struggling, and you want to stay away from like social media, is there anything that you tell yourself, like, to like not fall into the temptation, or any like quotes or something that you tell yourself to stay strong?
Yes, I love writing affirmations down.
Yeah.
My best friend Lydia, she even has like an affirmation calendar that she kind of makes at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And I've seen her do it, and she'd be like, "Bought the calendar," and I was like, "Oh, I've never seen that before." But she found affirmations, and she just wrote them for each day. That she would look at them, and she would repeat them to herself throughout the day. And I love I am affirmations. I will tell myself, I am loved. I am worthy. I am abundant. I am full of love. I am full of life. And that instantly boosts my mood because I'm just like, of course, of course I am.
Definitely. And, speaking of like, affirmation, telling yourself those things, when you're like in LA or a place like New York, I know, or I see honestly, how like the environment can kind of influence you, because you see all these people, with a certain personality or a certain, getting all these roles. And I wanted to ask you, can it sometimes like really impact you? Like, I know I said like, talking about like your family and your friends, that environment, but also like, outside, just walking around and seeing the ideal life or the ideal body or something like that. Does that ever impact you, or how do you stay strong too?
Yeah, definitely it impacts me. I think that it can be very easy to feel alone when you're in an environment like that, especially when, you're away from your normal supportive environment, which I've been blessed to have with my family. But when you're, walking around, I've been in New York City, walked around seeing all the models and going to auditions when you're by yourself, and you don't really have that, coach by your shoulder. It's kind of just you're there in your bubble. You start to compare yourself, and you start to realize like, oh God, like these people are so much better than I am. I'm not going to get this job. Like, she looks great for the role. Great, now I'm out of here. And then I just talked myself out of the audition. When 2 days before I was feeling great about it, And I like to think of it as everybody has their own life path, and I've even seen this quote going around recently, and it's like a plant. Everybody blooms at different times. Your time is coming, and that's just, I always tell myself that your time is coming. Just relax. Everybody blooms at different stages in their life.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Like, if everybody was just back to back, we would have no adventure. We don't have any time to love ourselves. We don't have any time to connect with other people and love our family and experience life.
Definitely, and that is so true. And I, again, just like you said, comparison, I feel like that I read somewhere, and I think it was even on your page, but if it wasn't, it was like a quote that I saw, and it was like, comparison is like the thief of joy. And I feel like that is so, so true, always feeling like we must live in the standard that, everyone is better than us, and that we will never like achieve this, or we will, and it's so not true, furthest from the truth. And I completely understand what you mean. And when it comes to like, life in general, and just like, finding happiness within yourself, what makes you the happiest? Like, what makes you the happiest you've ever been?
I have always been a nature freak since I was little. Like, family always used to take me to the beach, and even one time they told me I was like 4 years old and I had wandered down the beach, and they thought I had drowned in the ocean. But then I just came back, my little 4-year-old self, with a bunch of sand, and I had a random balloon just with me, and I would just take the scenic route. I took the scenic route. And I love to just disconnect from all technology, and I like to go camping. I like to go to the beach. I love nature. I am a huge component. If you can get out and you go visit somewhere new, it seriously revives you as a person.
Of course.
And another thing that makes me really happy is just being in acting class and connecting with people and creating characters and writing and playing music and just singing and basically just living the life that I want to and taking that independence and taking my happiness into my own hands and being like, okay, right now at this moment I'm not feeling the best. What can I do to make myself feel better? Maybe I can do like a little yoga flow to get me out of my body, because sometimes you don't realize that you're just stored energy in your shoulders, you have tension, or in your lower back it hurts, and sometimes you just need to stretch and relax and let yourself breathe, and then you can carry on with your day.
And I, again, love that so much. And, you said, like, you love nature and everything. And I wanted to say, like, for your, upcoming in your life, do you have any, like, plans or anything that like future, things that you're going to be doing and future projects, that really help you connect, or just in general?
Yeah, I definitely do. I had a project that I was going to start filming before quarantine, but it's been postponed, unfortunately, and we'll pick it back up when we can.
Awesome.
But I was so excited to do that. So I've been working on that character for months, actually, just so that when I get on set, I can just be prepared and do my due diligence and do my job correctly. And I was actually going to go to Spain in July and stay for a whole month, because I've never been to Europe in my life. And I would love to travel the world. That's something that I really want to accomplish in my life. Is I want to see other cultures and other people and meet people all around the world. Yeah.
And it's so, I think it's also crazy, like, not even crazy, but like, it's so shocking to see, because like, I relate with you so much, I think like, it's so important to like, see other cultures. Like, Hawaii has been like a dream, so like, I think, just like surfing.
I love Hawaii.
Yes. See, like, I genuinely think that it's beautiful. And just like living, this is so random, but living in a tree house and just like, grabbing a surfboard and surfing or watching the sunset. And I think that's amazing. And it's so cool to see, people who can also connect with you. And you never see this because you don't see what's going on behind the screen, because I would have never known, So like, it's really cool to see that. Yeah.
And it's always been like a little fantasy of mine since I was young, like to live in a tree house and just be on the beach somewhere.
Of course, yes. And just
everyone can take that time in their life to just relax and travel, because that's, you need to ground yourself sometimes.
I think that is so true. And just like throw away the social media, throw away a phone almost, and and just like live.
It'll be there when you get back.
Exactly. It will. Thank you. It will all be there. And just like grab a book and just read in like in nature. And I think that's wonderful, and that is so nice that you said that. And I feel like, just like you said, we all need that break, because sometimes everything can be so overwhelming. So I guess a lot of people did find, this pandemic, sadly, it happened, but a few good things out of it, because we all got to take a break. Yeah. So that's wonderful, and focus on our mental health. But, it can be hard, which I completely understand. And I wanted to ask you, do you have any advice for anyone out there who is struggling at this time, or comparing themselves, or cannot take a break from social media because they feel so, indulged in the toxicity of it, and they're comparing themselves? Do you have any advice for them?
My advice for anybody that's struggling right now is to come back to yourself.
Yes.
Come back to what makes you happy. When quarantine started happening and we're still in it, we're still amidst this pandemic, I realized how many tasks and things I was doing that I would do as a child. I wanted to ride my bike more. I wanted to draw. I wanted to paint. I wanted to sing, and I wanted to, just live in my imagination. So I think something that you can really, really do anywhere you are is just come back to your heart, come back to yourself, really just, meditate on it. Meditate. Meditate. Oh my God, that is so important.
Yes.
But I think that coming back to where is home,
Definitely.
you can find a lot of inspiration within yourself that sometimes you don't realize that you have in you.
Of course, yeah.
And honestly, it'll be there.
Yeah.
You just have to love yourself.
Definitely.
Any way you can. Start staring at yourself in the mirror, noticing 3 things that you love about yourself every single day. Something different. Your voice, your hair, the way your eyelashes fall, the way my eyebrows are different, things like that. And I think that little baby steps like that helps you just kind of crawl out of the depths that we've all been.
Of course, and I love that so much, and also, like finding stuff that are like different from anyone else, because honestly, if we all look the same, there would be no unique, look in this world. And I feel like, yeah, that's another thing with, social media, which is, I always like to go back to that because it is literally so impactful, and I feel like day by day, day by day, we're like just getting closer and closer to a world that's, sucked into social media, and like no one is really getting out of it to see what's beyond, like, because 20 years ago, social media wasn't a thing, and
you couldn't even FaceTime your friend. You would just call them and be like, hey, let's hang out, and you would just meet at this place.
And honestly, I love that so much. Like, I think that
I love that too. I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't be staring at myself with this Snapchat filter on that makes me look like nothing like myself.
Of course, in softened skin, and it's just, I completely agree, and it's really honestly so sad, and sometimes to see, because like it can have the positive aspects, like learning and becoming aware and active, but it can be so like detrimental, like what you said, calling your friend and then going to the mall together. Of course, if it wasn't a pandemic, we're going to the mall together.
Yeah.
And then, shopping and having fun. And then now you go to the mall and everyone's head is down in their phone. And it's just, it's really crazy to
Nobody's just, being present together. And I think that they're constantly thinking of, oh, I need to do this so I can get ahead for the future. But, everything is happening right now.
Of course, yeah.
Right now. So you just, meditating helps a lot. And I would say read and educate yourself on how you can, stay present with the people you love.
Amazing, wonderful. I loved everything that you said, and I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me and being a part of this interview. I love speaking with you, and everything that you said was wonderful about shutting off your phone, or living in the moment, meditating. That is so important, and it was so wonderful, and your advice was amazing. And I really hope that of course, and I really hope that for everyone who's watching this video, that sometimes it's good to take a break. It's good to, just like Gabriella said, name 3 things that you love about yourself. Do affirmations, maybe make the calendar just like her friend made. And it's just really important in life to do those things. And I wanted to say thank you so much, and I really hope that everyone also knows that you're not alone. You're loved, and and you'll always have someone who's there for you. And thank you so much again, Gabby. And I will definitely link all I will link all of her social media down below. And I really hope you all enjoyed this interview and have a wonderful day.